everyone. This is Ellen Marie Francisco. I'm picking up where I left off after my tea leaf reading in doing this reading that is with the tarot. However, the tarot reading that I did the other night was so unusual. It started off with all the cards just dispersing all over the floor in a bunch of different areas of my living room, so that took a little while to deal with. And then when I actually did the tarot reading, I did not say one thing about what cards I pulled, in what order. I did no video on the cards. I think I was still deep in the trance that I was in with the tea leaves, and just so even my recall of what the cards were, there is no recall. I have no idea what cards I pulled. I have no idea what order I did. For those of you who follow me for the Celtic cross readings that I do for the moon cycles, this is not that. However, I will do one of those. So what I did, so that you'd have something to see, is I put in the cards of the tarot deck that most relate to the characters as I've learned about them through the teacup reading. We're going to bring in the King and Queen of Cups. They're very emotional. They sometimes are drinkers, and they sometimes are either water signs or have affinity to waters. And then, of course, I'm going to bring in the Devil because something made somebody do something. The Five of Swords, because it's often about communication and the futile conversations that we sometimes have with people who are narrow-minded or just want it their way. And that also, the fives also denote where change can come, universal shifts, that change everything. And I'm bringing in the Queen King of Cups as well because she needs to be in her power. She in her power doesn't really need the king. She just needs her own internal balance between feminine and masculine. I brought in the Lovers, of course, because they are married. They've had a long-term relationship. I brought in the Ten of Cups because to me it represents the dreams and the happy ever after and our emotional aspirations, as well as the imagery with the waters in my deck. It does show a lot of water through the cups, obviously. The last card we're bringing in is the Moon, because on April 1st, 2026, there was a full moon. And that light would have still been shining pretty brightly on waters on the night of Saturday, April 4th, when she went missing. And those are the cards I've chosen to help tell the story that I found in the cup and found in the cards the other night without remembering what the cards are. I hope you enjoyed the video. It does have some interesting information that didn't come up in the tea leaves. So here we go. Thanks for hanging in with my intro. And off we go into the reading. He was just a really angry guy. All right, let's see what the cards have to say about this. I think she is dearly departed at this moment. And I wonder if he had something going on. Like, you always wonder what's the money thing. I wonder if there's some other little island or cove or little hidden little gem where maybe tourists would go there, locals would go there, and you kind of have to know it to get to it. It's not just as obvious a route as some of the other places, I guess, that people would want to go to down there. If there was, is there such a thing as the island at the island? Well, her soul, I don't feel is at rest quite yet because in some ways I feel like there was volatile, but in another way I feel like she didn't even see it coming. He'd just been beating her down for so long that she was just really mentally exhausted and finally was willing to walk away. And he just wasn't having it. And in good faith, I think she tried to do some repairs and just hang in because she was committed and do all that. But the cruelty, a certain degree of cruelty, and she just had this unusual innocence herself. Did she? I think, yeah, I think she's mostly a really good person. Just got into a sticky situation with somebody who just overpowered her from the very beginning. And her sensitivities just got to the point where something had to shift, something had to go. I feel like he sensed it. I feel like he's so hyper aware of her and how to get to her that I feel like he could tell there's just a difference in the way she was showing up, the way day to day was going. Like he could tell she was preoccupied, some kind of something. Yeah, like I think she really valued her own life and she finally wanted to make a change. It didn't work out so well. I think she saw the signs and ignored them. And honestly, I don't think she had any business to being on that trip or on that boat or anything like that, no matter how much they loved the water and all the rest of it and on and on and on. It was really, I think there was a part of her that knew not to go on this trip, that she didn't listen to. It was already tumultuous. There was already the power struggle. Her own solar plexus wanted more room inside of her body again. And he sensed it immediately. Yeah. And wow. So you did do the very emotionally distraught, very deep emotional base with her. For sure, even before she met him. Yeah, and after. Yeah, I think she had a wake-up call and just thought life's too short. I can't hang out with this kind of abuse. I don't want to be a part of it. I don't want to be on the receiving end of it. It's time for me to exit stage left. Very dangerous time period to be around somebody in a small confined location. So I just hear them bickering and bickering, like maybe he just had bad days. It feels like he just would get up, some days were just not good days for him, and she just knew the rhythm of it. It was just a lot to handle, a lot to filter through, and no way to escape from any of it. I I think she is. I think he did. I think she is. It was near the water. I do think water was involved. Whether she fell in or he pushed her in or she was swimming and came back out or tried to and or come back onto the boat and couldn't or something along that line. And he was cold, 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 cold. Very much passion building. Oh, it's really passion stuff. I think he had a problem with his temper big time. Well, now that we've listened to that part of the reading, I will be back to do a more formal tarot reading. I'll also be putting together the video with my sister's interpretation of the tea leaves, along with the interpretation of some of the tea leaves that I did not see on my first round, but caught when I was doing the editing and watching the video playback before I published the video. And I have a whole lot to say about that. So until Then have a good everything. I will see you next time. Bye for now.